Okay, so we are back for our third game of Majestic 13 with the team, the Brave Sox. So what happened last time in between games? So everyone survived their roles, even though we had lots of people out of action. They all survived their roles. Although Cap became traumatized, so I'm going to need to try and remember that Cap is on a -2. However, then in the improvement section, Cap improved combat, Speedy improved Dex, Tank improved Dex, Doc improved Fortitude, and Snipes improved in combat. We managed to successfully get a requisition roll for a pistol for Tank and a targeting assist for Speedy. The requisition request for a weapons department was refused, and then I've got notes we need better weapons. Yes, here we go. Yes, and then so this mission. So as we can see, it is a urban mission, and because it's an urban mission and we are a rapid response team, we get +5 initiative. And because our base is an urban infiltration base, we get another +5 initiative, giving us a +10 initiative. The alien that we are going up against is a Renvultia Stalker. We are fighting in an urban setting. Because it was a more werewolfy stalker type character, what I thought was I will do a pub. I saw an awesome 3D model from Corvus Games Terrain I'll show you, I'll use the little camera for a pub. It's the Winchester pub from Shaun of the Dead. I think it looks awesome, so I printed it and painted it. And I'm quite proud of it. And so what we have is we have sort of an urban street. We have a street, a corner sort of convenience store or corner shop, as I would know it. Basically, I grew up in an area very much like this, which looked very much like this did. There's a little park for the local kids to play in, and we have some terraced houses with some back gardens. We can see in this back garden we have an airdrop. And we also have an airdrop near the park here. This is for our secondary objective, which is a gear collection secondary objective, which is if we touch either of those two tokens, we will then get, whomever touches it gets +1 damage for the rest of the game. So it might be advantageous to get Snipes over there, or a Cap with his rocket launcher over there, but maybe not, because we are versus a Stalker. That end is, of course, there we go. That end is, of course, the alien end from about this tree line. This tree here, that way, is the alien. This is us. Our team has deployed out of the combi van. I was looking for either a die-cast model or a good 3D model, and I think I found one on My Mini Factory for like an A-Team type Trans Am black van. But anyway, they've deployed out of here. Snipes is down here. My idea was I'll get Snipes up to there. I thought it was a bit cheeky to deploy him up there to start off with. We have Cap here with behind this car, and over here we have Speedy with Speedy's tracker and target assist, and Doc is over on the other side over here. Our Stalker is down the end there. Now I got quite confused reading the rules and how the AI for the Stalker worked, so I still don't think I 100% understand it, but I will give it my best. I'm not 100% sure how this Stalker is supposed to work, but we'll try. So, I think that's it. We've got the gear collection. I need to try and do the call for aid, maybe the second, or I'll reset that on 2. Just because there's a glare. So, initiatives. So what we have is that our Stalker has an acuity of 25, so they will go first. Next we have Speedy, who normally has 14 but for acuity, but for initiative will count as having a 24 for this game. Cap 13 count as a 23. Doc 11 count as a 21. Snipes 9 count as a 19. Tank 8 count as an 18. And then the alien will go again on 15. I suppose I should keep track of how many times the alien has gone. I've got a 1 there, put 1 there. Our Stalker alien will activate again if it is hidden and the enemy successfully reveals the Stalker from hidden. As far as I can glean, this Stalker does not begin the game hidden. As far as I can glean. But it will go first, so I guess its first move is to hide itself. Then I guess Caleb unveils it, and then it will go again. So I'm predicting that it will often be alien, Caleb, alien will jump in, and then possibly go last as well. So, what time is it? It is now 2:10. Let's see, I think these normally take about an hour. So I've been wittering for about 8 minutes. That's not bad. So, let's go. Round 1. Round 1, at the top of the round, we have the Stalker. We'll do the Stalker's turn. So, what do we have in the Stalker's AI? It's not in extremes, of course. It's not activated within 1 inch of a character. If it activates outside of 1 inch of a character and is not hidden, which is what... Oh, maybe let's get a token that we can use for hidden. I've got these blue gemstones. The blue gemstones will indicate if our Stalker is hidden. I keep wanting to say alien, but we don't know it's alien. We just know it's a Stalker. Will activate, so it will move. So we got, sorry. It will move to cover against the nearest enemy if possible. If it has an action on its profile to become hidden, it will then use the action and become hidden. If it does not have this action available, it will move out of line of sight. Okay, so it does have one, which is when the Stalker moves more than half of its full movement distance. If it does not end this movement within 1 inch of an enemy, it will become hidden. Okay, so I guess it is going to move at least 12 inches and then it will attempt to become hidden. Let's switch to this camera that goes down the street. There's a bit of a glare from my floor tiles that I made myself. It's because they're varnished. So what's 12 inches? What is 12 inches? It is, something is a foot. So it would, maybe, no, because down this way it's coming, maybe it would want to come closer. It could leg it down and then hide down here, be hidden to be able to pounce out, but it's got a massive movement, so maybe it's better off coming behind there. Sorry, I'm reaching for another thing. So I think it will, oh, some giant's just knocked a tree down. It will run to hiding in these trees. Let's hide you behind the trees. So it's hidden behind the trees and it will go hidden. So next we have Caleb. So Caleb can attempt to spot it using Caleb's scanner, but that is as part of an attack. So Caleb could identify it, but I'm thinking it would be out. So Caleb's going to have to come round to get an angle on it. But of course Caleb doesn't know where it is. Oh no, Caleb would have seen it dart across the road behind there, and then it's become hidden. So Caleb, who has a dex of 10. Let's see, what does 10 give you, Caleb? You could feasibly run around the car, but I will use exactly the same amount of movement, but instead I think we will have to do a very more cinematic running across this road to the car here. Let's see if you can see it a bit better. Across the road to the car there, do the old Starsky and Hutch slide across the bonnet and then run around this part here. Initially thinking, Caleb initially thinking that they can open up fire on the Stalker, but not seeing the Stalker, just possibly seeing some shimmers as though hot air is moving. So Caleb needs to roll, because we're only in phase 1, so a 21 or higher. 21 or higher, so Caleb has an acuity maybe of 14, plus 2 due to the spot hidden of the scanner, giving a 16, needing to get a 21. Rolled a 17, so the Stalker becomes visible, which means the Stalker will go straight after Caleb has to go, and now Caleb can attempt to shoot at the Stalker. I am going to say the Stalker still has cover, because though Caleb isn't interfered with by this cover, there's a car, edge of the building, and if I could have squeezed the Stalker a bit more around into the trees, I would have done anyway. So Caleb, using their SA-80, which I checked, and the SA-80 is still used by the British military. I think it's called, this off memory, it's an LA or an L something 85, because it came into service in 1985. There's a bit of useless information. So it has a target assist, which I think gives a plus 2. So Caleb has a 10, and this has a defense of 21. So Caleb's going to have to roll 2 d20, take the lowest. We have a 19 and a 10. But that I think only gets to 20, doesn't it? So that only gets to 20. So just missing the Stalker. Caleb opens fire, just missing the Stalker, who is here behind the trees, shooting across. Loads of the tree branches come out, and there's splintering sounds as Caleb misses the Stalker. So who we got next? So it's Caleb. So now, because the Stalker became visible, the Stalker now gets to jump in for its second action. What do we have? So we have the same thing again. It is outside of 1 inch of all enemies, and it is not hidden. So it will attempt to move to cover against the nearest enemy if possible. If it actually to become hidden, it will then use the action to become hidden. If it does not have this available action, okay. I think it can just do the same thing. Is this thing just going to run around? Because this is the thing that I didn't quite understand. It feels like it's just going to bounce around, becoming hidden, and hardly ever actually attack anyone or do anything offensive. Which I suppose is fair, because it does say it's an incredibly clever creature. It is rarely encountered and often disappearing long before the forces are able to intercept it. A few teams who have encountered it describe an alien that moves with incredible speed and strikes with singly devastating power. I mean, if it does hit anyone, it will absolutely muller them, because from hidden it gets plus 2d6. Its base attack is 3d6 plus 3. And it poisons them, so if it does hit anyone, it will devastate them. So I don't know, maybe I'm in advantage. So according to this AI, if the Stalker starts his activation outside 1 inch of enemy and is not hidden, it will move to cover against the nearest enemy if possible, which is Caleb. So it will attempt to move to cover to Caleb. Does that mean it's going to run around that building? That's going to make it very difficult to actually do anything to it. It will move to cover, and it will, because it can use its shadow speed power, and it will become hidden. In which case, it is going to. I suppose it can come around and just attack this way, couldn't it? And then come in, because if it can get around there, I mean, I doubt the team's going to be able to do anything to it within its speed. So it is going to. So if it moves 12, it needs to move more than 12, which means I think it's going to have to come over here, on this side over here. Let's switch over to the other side. I think it's going to have to come over to here to move 12. So it will rush around to here, hiding and becoming hidden. Okay. Right. So Caleb would have signalled and said it's run back around. It is now hidden behind there. So that was our Stalker. So now it's Cap. Cap, who is here. Cap is there. In which case, Cap, knowing it's over there somewhere, I guess Cap will come down, probably moving Cap's speed. Remember that Cap's got a -2, so that goes, Cap's normal got a 10 dexterity, would go to 8. Cap could feasibly get to here and then attempt to identify where the Stalker is as part of a firing action. But of course, if Cap fails, Cap doesn't have anything to actually fire on. We need Cap to fire because Cap's got their grenade launcher. So Acuity is normally 13, so with a -2 we give us an 11, and we need to get a 21, so we need a 10 or more on this dice. 14. So Cap identifies where the Stalker has gone. The Stalker is there. Messages it into everyone, so everyone now knows where the Stalker is. Sadly, Snipes is not going to get a shot from where Snipes is at the moment. Snipes is going to have to climb up here to get a shot. But anyway, Cap will now attempt to fire. I'm going to give this thing cover. Cap has 17 combat, -2, 15, -4 because Cap has their grenade launcher, being a 11. So we have an 11 with disadvantage, so with cover, needing to hit a 21. So we need a 10 or more on the lowest dice. We had a 19 and a 12, and so a grenade comes flying from Cap across, exploding and hitting the Stalker, which is our first hit on the Stalker. The grenade launcher does 46 damage, +1 for Cap's high combat. Being a 6 and 6 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 points of damage on our Stalker. Did I say how much hit points it has? It has 110 hit points. So 16, putting it down to 94 points. Yay, Cap! Because Cap identified it, it then will jump in again for its third turn after Cap. It is now, so it is visible again. So does it just do the same thing? It's just going to run around. Is this just going to be a chasing? I mean, it's a fair tactic for it. And then at some point it might just start to go a bit mental. So I guess, what could it do? Would it run back to where it was? So it needs to be outside. It could just dash straight across everybody because it's got a 24 movement. It could dash down this alleyway here. Can you see that one? Yes, you can. It can dash down this alleyway here. So it will. Oh, if it could do this, this alien actually would suit a sort of a charge by attack, because in theory it could run from here across here attacking Cap, across there attacking Speedy, and then end up its full movement down this corridor, down this alleyway, going hidden. So that was its last turn. Its last go for this turn. Cat, now we have Doc. Has anyone been hit? No one's been hit. So no one's been hit. So Doc doesn't need to heal anyone. Doc doesn't have a great acuity. But if Doc can unveil it, then possibly Snipes can. I don't think Snipes has the movement. Because Snipes only has a 6 move since Snipes was cloned. So 6 move will not really give Snipes any angle to attack this thing, which is a crying shame. But Snipes maybe can get up here during Snipes move. Okay, so Doc. Doc has a dexterity of 13. So Doc, love to see how Speedy did the whee across there, and we'll come to the corner here where we saw the Stalker run down. Doc will look down the alleyway, see if he can spot the Stalker. Doc has an acuity of 11, meaning we need a 10 or more. So I can show you this, but I can do this. We can do this. So we have Doc at the corner, looking down the alleyway, where we have the Stalker on this side of the alleyway here. And so this was the bit I was thinking about, because Snipes is here, and I thought Snipes could maybe run around this way, but I don't think Snipes will be able to. So anyway, we will roll, see if Doc can spot a 4. No, Doc is unable to identify where their Stalker has disappeared, which kind of sucks. Which is only turn 1, so the probability. So Doc can't do anything. I think if we called in the drone strike, we're not going to be able to see where it is to be able to call in a drone strike. Okay, so that was Doc. Now we have Snipes. So Snipes isn't going to be able to get a shot on. Maybe Snipes will be able to identify where it is, so we can. That's a 3 to there. So even though Snipes, let's say that Snipes has just got to the edge there. Snipes can't see anything. I don't think Snipes could actually feasibly locate it. What sort of or maybe we can. Maybe just using like handheld scanners and stuff. Like that's how they identify where they are, not just using eyes. So let's give Snipes, who has a 9 acuity, an attempt to spot it and then unveil it. So the 9 it needs to hit a 21. Rolled a 19. So using various different scanners and electronic devices that Snipes has to assist in gauging wind direction and identifying different heat signatures, we have or I can quickly, let me just quickly identify, because before I unveil it, just in case I got it wrong, 28 hidden. A team member may, as part of an action making an attack, make an acuity check to spot a hidden model. The enemy will have a target number. If the acuity check is successful, the attacker may draw a line of sight to the target as normal, assuming no other game elements would block line of sight, such as terrain, and may attack as long as the weapon is in the appropriate range. If this check is failed, the model that made the acuity check may not attack, and the action is wasted. The model may not choose to use the action in a different way. Okay, so that means that Snipes could identify where it was, but of course he can't shoot it because he doesn't have line of sight on it. But it is no longer hidden, which is beneficial because the last person in our order, because the alien's already gone 3 times, is Tank, who can attempt to leg it with Tank's dex of, where's Tank? Dex of 13. So what we've got? We have 6 to there. Okay, so Tank will leg it, whoops, down here around and engage in hand-to-hand. Now the reason why Tanks has run around with the intention to engage in hand-to-hand is that, that's a bit shadowy, isn't it? Is that on the very rare off chance that this creature is able to, they're all hidden from the camera views now. Hold on, maybe I'll move this one over here. If Tank is able to, if I do that, no, sorry, pin it can't run away. So Tank attempts to do a hand-to-hand attack on it, rolling a natural 1. Okay. What does a natural fumble give us? I don't think I've ever rolled a natural fumble at a natural 1. Critical success and failure 15 for an attack, as of yet, which is a bit weird. This is just what we didn't want. A critical failure is regarded to total, even if after adding, no damage is dealt. Okay, so he's run down. Someone's left some litter down the alleyway behind the pub. Maybe there's some pub vomit down this alleyway. Tank slips on it and isn't able to get a good swing. That is the, oh, we didn't roll foobar. Let's roll foobar for the top of the round. So for this is round 1's foobar. 3, so that's no. Now we're on round 2. This is round 2's foobar. 5 plus 2, 7. It's now. So let's see what we get. Foobar. 11. Time-space distortion. Time-space distortion. Roll a d6 for each model on the board, friendly and enemy. On a roll of 5+, that model is moved 2d6 inches in a random direction and suffers damage equal to the total distance moved. The model may not be moved into a solid object nor off the board, but if they are moved off of a raised surface, this will trigger falling as normal. So, everybody gets a d6. On a 5+, we move 2d6. Okay, everyone gets a d6. So, we'll start with Snipes. Snipes, 2, no. Cap, 6, yes. We'll use the d20 to say where. That way. 8 inches, and which means Cap takes 8 damage. So 8 inches, Cap is zapped over here, and Cap takes 8 points damage. Cap, which puts Cap on 18 points. Then we have Speedy. Nope. Doc. 6. Yep. Goes in this direction. 5 points. 5 distance, which is just to here. And takes 5 points damage. Doc, which puts Doc on 14. Doc means you have to physician heal thyself. Then we have Tank. 5. That's a yes, isn't it? Yep. So Tank is in hand to hand with this thing. He goes this way. 11. Oh dear. So Tank ends up in the middle of the road here. So Tank dematerializes from here and appears in the middle of the road there. 11, taking 11 hit points damage as he's ripped through time and space. Leaving him on 20. Tank's got heaps of hit points. And finally, our Stalker. Our Stalker can end up in the middle of the street. That would be awesome. 5, yes. The Stalker goes. Oh, let's roll up here again. That way. 6. Does end up in the middle of the tree. Can't end up in the tree, so it'll end up just this side of the tree. Right next to Speedy. So he appears there, taking 6 points damage, putting him on 88 hit points. So that was the beginning of round 2. So now we are at top of the turn, which is the alien, who is on round 2. The alien's out in the open. He is actually outside, only just though, outside of 1 inch of Speedy. So I guess it's same again. It is run and hide. So if he goes back behind the corner shop, he is okay. Heading this way, maybe Cap can go and grab that next. Heading this way puts him next to these. Speedy's there. The furthest away from Speedy is just coming back behind here again, which is running around behind here taking cover. That is more than a 12-inch move, which means that our Stalker will become hidden again. Okay. Next we have Speedy, Caleb, who has a move. Speedy's got quite a low move, if I remember rightly. So it's gone up to 10. So let's see, what could Speedy do? So if Speedy's got a 10, we could go 1, 2 and a bit. So we could say 10 leaves Speedy around here. So Speedy will leg it over to here. And then attempt to identify where the Stalker has gone. Let's set the Stalker back to 1. And then open fire on the Stalker if Speedy can. So is that when, if the Speedy's hidden, successfully reveals it, it gets its turn. So Speedy has a 14 plus 2, 16, needs to get 21, rolled a 12, so definitely uncovers where the Stalker is hidden. And then Speedy will attempt to shoot the Stalker. If Stalker has cover. Our lowest number was a 6. I don't think that's enough because Speedy's not, no, because that only comes to a 16. A 16 total. So Speedy misses the Stalker. The Stalker now gets to activate. Speedy's there. Would the Stalker run? What about if the Stalker comes down this way, is only 10 inches, up into the trees, and behind that fence is 13 inches. Alright, so the Stalker is going to run, bounding over these fences, and come down into the trees. The Stalker hasn't even hit anyone. I'm following the AI, unless I'm doing this wrong. If I am doing this wrong, I mean... this is assuming anyone ever watches this. But if anyone ever watches this and fancies telling me how I am doing the Stalker wrong, please do so, because I would love to understand how this AI for this works. Because I mean, they can't all work. I dig that. That's cool. That's groovy. I understand that. Not all of them can work. But I just think I just so happen to have randomly rolled the Stalker whose individual rules kind of mix up with this one and the AI, because we've got its attack is, if the Stalker is not hidden, it becomes hidden. If it is already hidden when the Stalker next activates, if it is still hidden when it makes its first combat attack, it may roll combat stat twice. So if it is not hidden, it becomes hidden. So I suppose it means that I can use that basic attack, which is careful stalking. If it is not hidden, it becomes hidden, to move any distance, to follow the AI's guideline, which says move it away from its closest opponent and into cover, and then I can make it go. So I don't have to move it over the 12 inches of distance. I could just make it go hidden anywhere. But the whole the wording of that, if it is already hidden when it next activates, if it is still hidden when it makes its first combat attack, I mean, maybe it's just my brain. Maybe because of my... Maybe this is written as though you're a Warhammer player, but this isn't like a Warhammer game. Like, if anyone is like arguing the toss over a game like this, which is more narrative and fun based, then really you need to sort your life out, mate. But I want to know how it's supposed to work, because unless this is it just bounces around hiding, which is cool. Basically, it's trying to burn down turns. It's turtling, isn't it? It's trying to keep itself defended whilst being whittled down. Anyway, digress again. So that was the alien on its second turn, bounded across the back of the houses and into cover over here. Next we have Cap. So Caleb, so Speedy, Caleb would have called in. It's gone across the back of the buildings. Cap will go, okay, I'll try and spot it in the park. So Cap will attempt to spot it in the park, and then I don't think Cap can manoeuvre anywhere where that thing won't get cover, so he might as well stay wherever he is. So Cap has a 13, minus 2 makes an 11, so Cap needs to roll a 10 or more to identify where it is. Exactly 10. So Cap spots it, will attempt to launch a grenade at it. So that's a 17, minus 2 is a 15, minus 4 is an 11, needing to hit a 21. 2 dice, take the lowest. We got a 4 and a 15. So the grenade goes off in the middle of the park. Oh, it did get, so it's no longer hidden. Goes off into the middle of the park. Grass and mud goes up into the air. And that's the end of Cap's turn. And now it will activate again. It's kind of being closed in behind those buildings because we have let's put this up here. So it's being closed in between those buildings because we have Cap over here and we have Caleb over here. Tank is there. Doc is here. So we're kind of closing in across here, across this way. Possibly its best bet is to try and go behind these houses. Go behind these houses here and remain hidden there. I mean, it means that they're going to have to close in and try and pinch it in, and it may have to then bound over the buildings. But I think its best bet, because it can see these things here, these things here. I mean, it could come down to this side, but then it's kind of trapped in here. It can come over the top, but it's kind of trapped. That doesn't seem far enough, and it still goes there. So maybe it will come down here. And then we will say it will attempt to bound up and over. Who goes next? Doc goes next, doesn't he? Where's Doc? Doc's here. So Doc can feasibly run across. So it is going to bound across here and hide behind this building here and go hidden using its last turn. Yep, you can see that. Right, so we have now, so that was Cap who identified it, it's gone, last turn, Doc. Doc has his move of 13. Let's see. What will a 13 give you, Doc? You can come to there. Or you can come to there. I mean, if you come over to here, you get a shot on it. But realistically, if it's hidden, you didn't know that. Well, suppose we saw, we could say they detected it running to this location. So if Doc comes bounding over, so a 13 bounding over, you're alright. I mean, if it gets him, He's dead anyway. So Doc will come sliding, so running across, step up, run across, step down, and then come against the wall, go flat, try and keep a low profile as possible. Try and identify where it is. Mind you, Doc could have healed himself because Doc's on the lowest hit points of 14. If it does, mind you, if it hits any of them, they're dead. So Doc will run across. Doc is going to try and identify where it is. With his an 11, so Doc needs to roll a 10 or more. Nope, Doc does not identify where it is. And Doc can't use his turn to heal himself either. So it remains hidden. That's Doc, so now we've got Snipes. Snipes only has a move of 6. If we say that he drops down, that'd be 2.5, so 2, giving him a 4, putting him in the middle of the road there, which there's no way he's going to be able to get a shot from there. Alright, maybe he will try and call in the airstrike, which means that, it gets him out of hidden, which we kind of want to do. So he's going to attempt to call it. He'll stay where he is because he's got a nice angle, apart from if it runs around here or of course over here, where he's not going to get a shot on that anyway. He will attempt to call in the airstrike, which first means he has to unveil where it is. Rolling a 17, unless he's like, that's definitely. So he identifies where it's hidden, rolling his 26, so it becomes unhidden. And then Snipes is going to attempt to call in the airstrike. Now, we're in a town, we're in urban, so we get a +1. It's turn 2, which gives us a +3. So we need to roll a 3 or more. We rolled a 1. Okay, so no one picks up on the other end of the radio, and Snipes is trying to call it in and no one picks up, and we do not get to call in our airstrike on round 2. Okay, Tank had a 13 dex, yes, so Tank can move 13, so there's no way Tank can get to this thing. Maybe Tank will try and call in the airstrike. Alright, so Tank, it is unveiled. A 13 will get Tank behind this edge of this building here. So Tank will run along. Alright, Cap. Run down. And then be at the edge of the building there. So as Tank has now run across to here, keeping flat against the edge, there's no way he can see the Stalker, but the Stalker is uncovered. Tank still gets his 2 + 1, 3 plus onto this. 2, that gives a 5. I don't think a 5, I think it's a 6 or more, which means he would need a 3. He would need a 3. Call for 8, yeah, 6 or more. Okay, so again, no one's picking up. And that is the end of round 2. It's definitely getting closed in over here. It's definitely getting closed in over here because we've got all this coming here, these coming here, this coming here. So it might try and climb up to the top, bound down, or maybe climb up to the top, bound across, bound across. Oh, nice big leap would be fantastic. See, it's got, so top of round 3, it's got a 24 move. So what is it? Double move 6, so that would make it 12 to get up here. And then, I mean, hiding on a roof, hiding up on roofs, that's pretty traditional, isn't it? Okay, so it's going to climb up this building to here. Then it will do, can you see this? Let's switch to the other view, then you'll be able to see what I'm doing a bit more. So it's climbed up the building, it scampers up, so double move, so that's 6 inches, so taking 12. It is then going to do It's a massive alien, so I'm going to say it can clear this jump easy. It'll run across, so snipes will, and these lot will witness it running and jumping across here. It'll scatter across here, and look, if it sits, it fits. So that's not quite its full movement, but it basically is on the top of that roof. So these can't see it, he can't see it, snipes can see it, but it kind of goes out of visibility. It becomes hidden. Top of round 3, so that's snipes. So now we have Caleb. Caleb is down the bottom. Feasibly, if Caleb runs across to here, Caleb will be able to identify where it is and get a shot on it, which is probably, as Caleb is better at identifying where it is, sorry, you just heard me cracking my knuckles. That's some people don't like that. Caleb has Speedy only has a move of 8. Is that right? Oh no, he improved it. So that's a 10, which can put Caleb around the other side of this vehicle here. Alright, so Caleb is going to attempt to identify where it has disappeared to, which means Caleb needs to, so Caleb has a 16, needs to hit a 21, an 18. So Caleb identifies it on the top of that building and does a shot. I'm going to say that for the first time, they do not have, it does not have cover. That was an 11. I think that's a hit. So that's an 11 plus an 8 with the +2 for the modifier. It makes exactly a 21. It has a defense of 21, meaning Caleb does 2d6 damage. It's cheating. You use the two 6 ones, they always roll higher. So these normally roll 4s and 5s and 6s. 1 5. So 7 points of damage on the Stalker. He opens up with rounds. 7 points, dropping the Stalker to 81 hit points. So that being, move that back to there. That being Caleb's go. It now goes because it was unveiled. I mean, that down is 5. Then we could run across, which takes us to 19. No, because we need 12. We want, whatever it is, we need 12 to come maybe across to here. So that'd be 10. So what did we say? 5, so that'd be 15. You could just about get to the top of that roof if you wanted to go between roofs. Or it could go, I mean, if it just keeps hiding down here, it's a bit boring. At least if it runs from rooftop to rooftop, we get the cinematicness of them attempting to shoot at it as it, so we can imagine them opening fire as it bounds into the, it's like lands on top. Okay, we're going to do this. It's all cinematic, isn't it, this way? It bounds down, leaping down, lands on top of the orange car, crushing the hood in, glass gets compacted, the alarm of the car goes off. As it bounds across, lands on top of this car, giving it the spring to get up onto the roof over on this side. That car's crushed, alarm's going off. This car's crushed, alarm's going off. That's kind of its full movement. It's more than its full movement, it's kind of. But it definitely has cleared enough movement for it to once again go hidden. So I think what it is, I think reading it, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, that a lot of this reads like this individual Stalker is only really going to hit someone if they are right up in its face and it is unveiled, in which case it's got the here we go. If it did not use flurry of strikes during its last activation and it is not hidden at the start of its activation. Oh no, maybe some of those other ones where it wasn't hidden, it would have used flurry of strikes. Maybe that's what it would have done. So on one of those previous turns, because where did that D6 go? In one of its previous turns, it would have used Flurry of Strikes and start ripping people apart. But I mean, maybe I've misread. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do. Maybe someone can tell me where I've gone wrong, so if I play this again, I can play it the way it's supposed to be. This is where a general purpose AI that someone who's written rules like this can explain their rule set to, and then I could connect to that AI and say, look, I've got, because there's so many pieces of information, it would be, you know, nobody can be expected to check and respond to it, but a general purpose AI could just understand the rule set, and then maybe I can ask, maybe I can, I don't know if I can give you, I don't know whether you want me to give GPT your rule set, and then ask, how am I meant to play this alien? Anyway, I've done that. I like the cinematics of it hitting the car, running across, and bounding up on the top whilst they're spraying across the air trying to catch it. And of course, it then means that Cap on over there, maybe Cap will run across, touch the thing. He just needs to touch it, doesn't he? He doesn't need to like use an action. He just needs to touch it. So if Cap moves across, here we go, change angle. If Cap moves across, so here is where the collection point is. If Cap moves across to where the collection point is, Cap has contacted one of the collection points. Might as well spend Speedy round to do the other one because we're not doing any damage to this thing. Speedy's slow. Maybe Tank can run over and then run round because Tank's no use for anything else. Not if it's up there. So Cap's moving over to here, touch the collection point. Then Cap is going to try and locate where the Stalker is on this rooftop because it's hidden, and then launch a grenade launcher at it. So first off, we've got trying to identify it. So Cap has an 11, needs to roll a 10 or more. 9 fails. Cap does not identify where it is. It is still hidden. Cap has moved over to there. Who's next? Doc is now next because it didn't get to go. Doc has a move of 13. Doc could heal himself. Nobody else has really been. So Tank got some damage and Cap got some damage from the teleport. I think it will now start to rip people apart because it can. So we've got 13. Doc will run across to behind here. Doc is going to try and identify where this thing is and then call the airstrike in on it. So first off, he needs to try and identify where it is. He's got an 8. Oh, where's my green D20? My rattly pockets. Come on! Nope. Doc fails to identify where it is to call in the airstrike. Snipes. Snipes is up here. Snipes feasibly could get a shot on it if Snipes could identify where it is. How much damage does an airstrike do? What is better for Snipes to do? Try and call in an airstrike, or drone strike does 5d6 plus 4. Okay, I think it will probably be more useful for Snipes to try and identify where it is. Oops, shit. Rolled a 4. So Snipes does not identify where it is. Snipes doesn't know where it is. It is still hidden. It's Father Christmas on top of the chimney. No one knows where it is. Snipes doesn't spot it. So the last person in order is Tank, before it, being hidden, is going to eviscerate probably Speedy, who's the closest. Tank is going to leg it to attempt to get this one over here. but I'll try and identify where he is at the same time. So tank has a move of 13, so that puts tank in the middle of this alleyway, and tank will attempt to call the drone strike in. You never know, tank might be able to spot it. Rolling a 9. I don't think his acuity is high enough to be able to make that work. Tank has, where are you? Has an 8. 8 plus 9 is 17. Tank does not spot where it is. It is still hidden at the end of the round. So we now are on the Stalker's turn, and for the first time it is beginning its turn hidden. So it is outside of 1 inch of all enemies and is hidden. It will move to the closest enemy it can see and make an attack with surprise. Alright, it's not hidden, it becomes hidden, so that would be a clawed strike. If this did not use flurry and it is not hidden at the start of the activation, okay. So it is just going to do a clawed strike against the closest person, who is tank. So it will run across, jump down, slice up tank. Cool. So it is going to. So then, does that take hidden? I guess that takes hidden away. So that will take hidden away either way. It will run across, drop down behind tank, and it is going to attempt to attack tank. So it has a combat of 23. Tank has a defense of 31. It rolled an 18. So it hits tank. So it hits tank from hidden. So it gets plus 2d6 because it's hidden. It's doing a clawed strike. If the strike has used careful stalking twice and is hidden when it activates, make a single attack. I'm going to say he does a claw strike anyway, which does 3d6, and it gets plus 3. And then if he survives, tank will attempt to do a fault check against poison. So it gets 5d6 plus 3 damage on tank. Wow. That's 666. That's 18. 18 plus 8 is, what's that? 8, 8, 16. So 18, that's 26 plus 3, did I say? 26, 27, 28. That's 29 hit points on tank. Shredding tank, who was on 20 hit points. Absolutely shredding tank. Tank is a smear of blood up either sides of this alleyway. So tank is a smear of blood up either sides of that alleyway. Okay, so tank's not a happy bunny. That was at the bottom of the round, of round 3. So now we come on to round 4. This isn't looking particularly good for the broken socks, is it? They're a bit broken. So top of the round we have our Stalker. Okay. Let's Flurry of Strikes this. So we've got Flurry of Strikes. If the Stalker did not use Flurry of Strikes during its last activation and it is not hidden at the start of its activation, it will now use Flurry of Strikes. It will move adjacent to the closest enemy, make a clawed strike attack. It will then repeat this process for the next closest enemy other than the one it just attacked, and it will keep repeating until it's moved 24 inches. Okay, so how did we go? I reckon we would go 1, 2, 3. So that's 2 inches. It will run up behind Caleb and attempt to attack Caleb. Let's move that tree. There we go, move it back. What's the best angle for you to see what I'm doing? This one. So it's moved up to here. So it moves from the alleyway here to behind Caleb here, and it will attempt to attack Caleb. This is this is so Flurry of Strikes. This is a clawed attack, which is 3d6 plus 3. It has a combat of 23, and Caleb has a standard defense of 30. It rolled a 16. It hits, doing 3d6 plus 3 against Caleb. doing 7, 8, 9, 10 points. 13 points against Caleb. Are you up, Caleb? Yes, Caleb's on 10 hit points. Caleb has to make a fault check against 23, I think it said. So Caleb has a 12 fault. Rolled a 6, so Caleb fails. Caleb is poisoned. Poisoned means that Caleb's movement is halved. I'll put a red marker against Caleb to say he's poisoned. So that was 2. I reckon, though Snipes is the closest, that would make more movement to then run across and get tank, whereas coming there is more efficient. And I think also just looking straight across would be what it did. So it's 2. So another 9. So that makes an 11-inch total, bounding past Caleb to here. Then attempting to attack Doc. This could kill Doc. Doing a, let's use the lesser dice, the red one. No, doing a 16. So that's definitely going to hit. So that hits Doc. Doing 3d6 plus 3. Doing 14. I think that's all the hit points Doc has left. It is. So Doc, 14 plus 3 means that Doc goes down. Blood all up the side of the car, all over their front doors. Up the side of the car, up their front doors. Whoops. Battery on the little one's going, so that's probably the last few we get from the little one. So that was 11, meaning it will end its movement on Cap. Attempting to hit Cap. Cap having his 30 defense. 23. Natural 20. Oh, okay. That doubles damage, doesn't it? Natural 20 attack against Cap. Oh dear. This really is a bloodbath game. It hits a certain point and then everyone starts to get decimated. Critical hits 25. This is what I looked at last time, but I looked at failures. So we've had both. We've had a critical miss and a critical hit. Whenever a model is under the effect of indication, for additional information, critical success, see page 15. I think it's double damage. Critical hit. Always hits regardless of the total. In addition, the critical hit causes double damage. Roll the damage as normal with all the dice and bonuses and double the result. So 3d6 plus 3 times 2. 3d6. Which is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 2 is 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 points of damage. Beating the 18 points that Cap had left. Meaning Cap is now on 0. We are down to Speedy Caleb, who is poisoned, and Snipes. But our Stalker ends its turn there. Wow. So that was the beginning. Was that the beginning of the turn? That was the beginning of turn 4. Yes, I believe that was the beginning of turn 4. The beginning of turn 4, it was hidden. No, it wasn't hidden, wasn't it? Because it was at the end of the turn. It ran across, dropped down, killed Tank. Beginning of the turn, it legged it across, attacked Caleb, attacked Doc, attacked Cap. So there we go. You see, so it ran around. The moment it didn't get spotted, it then laid waste. I think that's fair dues, because the other two don't stand much of a chance now. So Cap is out, Doc is out, Tank is out. So we've got Caleb gets to go first. It isn't hidden. Caleb best bet. So Caleb first will attempt to get rid of the poison status. 7. I don't think that's a success. A 19. That is not a success. So Caleb is poisoned, so Caleb's movement is halved, but Caleb is going to attempt to call in a drone strike. So we get, it's a 4, plus 1 is a 5. So basically we call it a 3, yeah. So drone strike comes in. The drone has a plus 21 attack bonus. It needs to hit a defense of 21. So as long as it doesn't roll a 1, it opens up, it rolls a 16, it opens up on the Stalker, doing 5d6 plus 4. So we get a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 19 points. Not great actually on 5d6 plus 4. 19, putting it on 62 hit points. So it's on 62 hit points. It's like almost on half health, but still, that's the end of Caleb's go. So now we have Snipes. Snipes, for the first time, can see this thing and can get a shot on. Snipes hasn't moved, so Snipes can just take their time, target in, no cover difference because of all the stuff in the way, and attempt to shoot this thing. Snipes rolled a 6, which may not actually hit it, to be honest. Snipes, oh no, it does. Snipes has a combat of 16, plus 6 gives us 22, which just beats its defense by 1. So Snipes does 2d6 plus 4, because didn't move with its sniper rifle, plus Snipes has a plus 1 damage, so we've got 2d6 plus 5 damage. So we get 6 plus 5, 11 hit points. 51, down to 51, another shot like that, and we still haven't killed it. And that's that, Snipes. Now we have the alien, sorry, now we have the Stalker. So I think at this point the Stalker is going to, I mean, he's down on hit points, so I don't think it'd be very, I think now is where the Stalker will come back to running around. Oh, maybe it'll come around this way and try and outflank these two for the next attack. So that is 8 points. That's, sorry, 8 inches. So that would be, so over there would be 21 inches. So it bounds around here and around here to here, moving its full movement, meaning it then becomes hidden. And that was its last go of round 4. So round 5, the beginning of round 5, it is hidden. So if it is hidden and it starts its activation outside of 1 inch of all enemies, it will move to the closest enemies it can see and it will make an attack with surprise, which is its clawed strike, doing 5d6 plus 3 if it hits. So it's got a 24 move. Caleb down there is poisoned and has been hit, and it will definitely be able to get rid of Caleb. So it is going to move like speed, bounding over here, bounding over here. We will put it on the top of this car and it will just slash down upon, come on, stand up there. There you go. If it sits, it fits. So it will start slicing down on Caleb down below. We have a 19, it definitely hits. It is going to do 5d6 plus 3 damage. Doing 6, 12, 15, 20, 23 plus 3, 26 points of damage on young Speedy. Putting Speedy on -16. So bits of Speedy Caleb go all over the place. And Caleb is down there. And this Stalker is now unhidden. Which means Caleb doesn't go. Now we have Snipes. It is visible. Snipes can attempt to do another shot on it. I think we should have probably on that call for aid, we should have evacuated, because Snipes might get eviscerated by it, because it will then just... Oh no, it's going to run and hide again, isn't it? Flurry of strikes. Maybe it'll flurry of strikes. Snipes can't get away. Snipes will have to try and shoot it. And then we have, we find out what happens if we have a TPK, total party kill. Alright, come on Snipes. 17, that hits. Didn't move. So that's a 2d6. 6 plus 4, 10 plus 1 is 11. Putting it down to 40 points. What's its thingy-majiggly? 30. 10 off. 10 off. Okay. So Snipe shoots it. I mean, this is the end of this is the last action Snipe gets. I think Snipes is going to jump down here, and that will be the end of Snipes' action. Its turn. It is going to run across to here, and then behind, knocking this car out of the way. Ooh, went far. It will do an attack on Snipes, and then it is going to run off the board, because that would be the end of turn anyway. So it will now attempt to slice up Snipes. Oh! Oh! It rolled a 3. It missed! It rolled a 3. So it's only got a 26. Snipe survives. We don't fail. So, oh wow! I am genuinely surprised. So 26. Obviously, this Stalker is covered in blood and gore now. So as it comes bounding across, pushing the car out of the way, it knocks it slightly out of balance. It swipes at Snipes as it comes past. It doesn't get much contact on Snipes, and then it bounds down the end of the street and is away. And that's that. So what's that? So that's now 3:15. So I mean, there was a bit of a cut in the middle because we had someone knocked on the door, and I had Amazon delivery of some stuff for Eve for school for this week, which you won't get to see. But beyond that, that's that. The Broken Socks just survived their third mission, which means their next mission will be a special mission in in a wilderness environment against some of the false squad, and that is job done.